Coming up next on this edition of In the city rolls out new efficiencies for brush and limb pickup. Also, the Murfreesboro City Schools Department surprised the board with great Tennessee Ready results. Plus, we highlight a few young men and women doing their part to better our city. And the Murfreesboro Police Department and MTSU work together to make multi-housing safer. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. With the help of multiple city departments, a new drop-off site, and overtime hours, the city tackles the issue of brush and limb pickup.
With low unemployment and the high demand for commercial licensed drivers because of construction growth, the city has been challenged with recruiting drivers used for the curbside brush and limb pickup.
It's a driver that gets to your curbside location, comes out and then operates a knuckle. It's a grapple claw that actually picks brush, limb, and yard waste up. And it's a little bit different in the fact that you're not only driving, but then you're having to work this grapple on the knuckle boom. So there's some training that goes into that. So that's a challenge, but the way we're working around that is we're trying to work smarter.
Murfreesboro's mulch facility is on Florence Road, a good distance from the south side of Murfreesboro. The city is currently using the Water Resources Maintenance Facility on South Church Street as a brush and limb laydown site.
Some say in Indian Hills picking up a load, it took 47 minutes one way to get back to Florence Road. For that truck that knuckle boom to get to the South Church Street Water Resource site, it took 8 minutes. They can drop that load off and then they can get back to picking it up in the southern part of town. And then our folks at Water Resources haul the material over to the Florence Road site. We have created an online brush and limb pickup map to show the public what area and what we kind of date stamp the area that we were at and what areas we picked up for a certain day, so you can look at that online at the Solid Waste City website.
The city's website is www.murfreesborotn.gov. Click on Solid Waste, then Yard Waste Collection, and then Brush Pickup Map. You can visit the Murfreesboro Solid Waste Department's Facebook page to view the map as well. Also, the Florence Road Mulch Facility is now open on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to noon for residents to drop their brush and limbs off.
If they want to really get rid of some stuff, they would have that, and they work during the week. They would have an opportunity on Saturdays to come and unload it themselves and at no charge. I think the biggest, issues we have are the ones that really spend a lot of time and effort on a manicured landscape. And when they've got a brush and limb pile in front of their perfectly manicured yard, it's unsightly, and it's something that they don't necessarily appreciate it sitting there for 2 or 3 weeks.
A few simple guidelines residents can do to make the process more efficient are: place brush and limbs parallel to the street. Limbs no longer than 10 feet and 8 inches in diameter. Don't place foreign debris in with the brush pile. Don't place brush under low-lying power lines. Don't park a vehicle near the brush pile. Also, the pile should be in your yard and not in the road or on a sidewalk.
I've had several calls, not from people for lack of picking up yard waste, but people that are complaining that they cannot get two-way traffic through their subdivision streets because the piles get so big. A private tree trimming service and a private yard waste service or a private landscaper, any yard waste or limbs or brush that they create as part of their maintenance activity, they are responsible for taking that away. They are not supposed to be putting out curbside for the city to pick it up.
Another tip to help assist city employees is to bag your grass clippings in a biodegradable paper bag rather than just piling it up.
If you can go get the biodegradable bags that you can buy at Lowe's, at Home Depot, at Kroger, it allows that grapple to pick it up and very efficiently so our guys can move on. If the diameters are too great or the lengths are too long, Solid waste staff does have a white tag they place on the pile, and they give the reason why we were unable to pick it up. The way we want people to respond is to be patient with us, to get online, look at the map. We want to communicate with the public on how we are progressing through the city, how quickly we're getting through the city, the fact that we are still actively recruiting drivers, and the fact that we are trying to look at outside help to come in and either man our fleet that's being unmanned currently or provide a new fleet to come and help us.
Public education in Tennessee was sitting on pins and needles waiting on the Tennessee Ready results that show how your school and students match up with other schools.
For nearly a week, Murfreesboro City Schools Director Linda Gilbert was keeping a secret from the school board, teachers, parents, students, even some of her own staff, until the August 13th school board meeting.
I will now go to Dr. Gilbert with a major announcement coming from the director of schools.
Well, you may not know, but at 5 o'clock today, the embargo was released as far as the test scores.
The test scores Dr. Gilbert was referring to are the results from last May's Tennessee Ready Assessments. To measure student academic growth, the Tennessee Value Added Assessment System is in place for mathematics and English language arts, or reading. The scores range from 1 through 5, 5 being the highest.
This year, we do not have a level 1 in ELA reading. We do not have a level 2 in ELA reading. We do not have a level 3 in ELA reading. We do not have a level 4 in ELA reading, but what do we have, principals? And in mathematics this year, we did not have a level 1 in mathematics. We did not have a level 2 in mathematics. We did not have a level 3 in mathematics. We did not have a level 4 in mathematics, but what did we have, principals?
One way to keep schools accountable is to assign designations that label their success. Priority, which means those schools are most in need of support and improvement, and reward, which is the top distinction, meaning they are improving all student groups.
So this year, we do not have a reward school. We do not have 2 reward schools. We do not have 3 reward schools. We do not have 4 reward schools. We do not have 5 reward schools. We do not have 6 reward schools. We do not have 7 reward schools.
Oh, you're kidding.
We do not have 8 reward schools, but we have how many principals? 9!
Another accountability system is for school districts as a whole district, measuring their academic achievement, academic growth of all students, and all subgroups, as well as attendance and English language proficiency. Districts are scored as marginal being the lowest, satisfactory, advancing, and exemplary being the highest.
This year, as you might guess by the number of reward schools we have and the highest level possible in math and also in ELA, but this year we are an exemplary school district. I think that it really has to do with the collaborative nature of our school district and our entire community. The support that we get from the City Council, the school board, all of our community partners, the hard work that they put in, the hard work that all of our faculties put in, our staff, our support staff. We can't do this alone. It's not a one-person job or even a one-department job. It's everybody working together, and that's what we're about.
I'm so happy for you all that that this has happened, because our teachers deserve it. Our teachers deserve every minute of it, and so do our principals and assistant principals. You support staff. Thank you.
And I am so tickled that you have proven, because of all the naysayers that want to complain about things going on in our school, you have proven them wrong.
I think future testing and will continue to show that Murfreesboro City Schools are the schools of exemplary from here on out.
I just can't tell you how much I appreciate, and I know our mayor and council appreciate the work that puts on the difficult work and the challenges that you face every day. It's wonderful to finally to get this kind of recognition for the work that those people do to prepare the future of our community.
Girl and Boy Scouts teach young people skills that help them succeed. Join us as we take you around the city to show you some of their projects and the faces behind them.
There are over 4 million Girl and Eagle Scouts in the United States. Here in Murfreesboro, young men and women that belong to these organizations do their part to give back to the community. They work with city departments along with local businesses to make it all happen, all on their own.
So when a scout approaches with an idea, I think that that's one of the key pieces. The point of earning your Eagle Scout project or earning your Gold Award through this process is really about it being a scout-led initiative.
The pinnacle moment for these scouts is their final project. For the guys, it's the Eagle Scout project. For the girls, it's the Gold Award. To receive this award, they must complete a sustainable project that impacts the community for years to come.
So we work with the scout to make sure that the project is something that we can work with, that's going to best benefit the community, that's going to fit into the park system or wherever we are, and we'll work in cooperation and in partnership with the scout. And that's one of the things that they are learning as a part of this process.
Vance Smith, a senior at Central Magnet School, decided on a kiosk for his scout project at Old Fort Park to engage and inform the public on the importance of pollinators in our city.
In the background of the sign is a pollinator, which is a kind of a plot of land that helps butterflies and bees and different pollinators come in and pollinate. And as we all know, they're very important to the environment because they're responsible for most of the food we eat.
Smith says in bringing his vision to life, he had lots of help from others. He also had to follow city policies and procedures.
One was with the city and the Parks Department to get approval to do it here, and then also through the Boy Scouts you have to fill out different applications and meet with district leaders in order to get it approved.
There are lots of these awesome projects all around town. Fishing line recycling stations near fishing sites, a sandbox playground at the Wilderness Station, just to name a few, and one recently completed by Girl Scout Chloe Wakeham at Oakland's Mansion.
I wanted Oakland's to have a program where kids can come and be fascinated by this place like I was.
Chloe's backpacks that can be checked out from Oakland's for free are filled with crafts, games, and worksheets designed for kids to learn more about Oakland's Mansion and its historical importance.
I know for not every kid history is fun. Sometimes history is boring. Sometimes history is, why are we learning about this? But I wanted to cultivate a place where kids could do that and do it for free too.
Although these projects are all very different and diverse, one thing is the same: the passion these young people have for their cause and for the place they call home.
This is basically 8-year-old me in a bag, and like if I was going to time travel back to what I was interested in at that age, this is it.
These projects can be done anytime between 10th and 12th grade, and the experience they get in putting it all together will no doubt benefit these young adults well into the future.
I think that it's something that's really important as that child transitions into this level of leadership and into adulthood, that it's something that they've learned of what their role in this community can be and should be.
Scout and Gold Award projects are located all throughout the city, so keep your eyes open next time you're out and about to see them for yourself. Reporting for CityTV, Michael Linn White.
A multi-housing program organized by the Murfreesboro Police Department implements strategies to ensure safety for tenants.
Krista Davis manages 3 apartment complexes in Murfreesboro.
College Center Apartments, College Point Apartments, and University Center Apartments.
Those complexes are locally owned and the first and only to become certified through the Murfreesboro Police Department's crime-free multi-housing program.
I'm not sure if I'm more excited or disappointed, but I am excited and very proud that we were the first ones. I do wish more properties would be involved with the program. It's only here to help us and to make our community a better place.
The program was implemented in 2018 to reduce crime and the fear of crime at apartment complexes near the MTSU campus.
As a parent, you wouldn't want to turn your child over to a community where it's unsafe. So we need to come together, whether it's individually for ourselves or doing it for the good of the city. All of us on board would just make such a huge difference.
To become certified, apartment managers and their staff must attend an 8-hour meeting learning about the program. Topics include how to improve safety. Next is crime prevention through environmental design, which includes improving everything from security to lighting.
The second part is actually the hardest part, and that is putting everything we learned into effect. Replacing door jamb screws, deadbolts with 3-inch screws in every single door, not just exterior doors, but bedroom doors. Secondary window locks on all of our windows to prevent them being lifted from the outside if they are left unlocked by a resident. Taking care of our landscaping and making sure nothing is over 3 feet high so no one can hide behind it. Exterior lighting, sliding glass doors, secondary locks for those, peepholes in every single door that are 180 degrees. All these things, and this was the absolute hardest part, and it's what is so time consuming.
And costly, but Davis says the complexes she manages made the necessary changes in only 6 months, thanks to her maintenance staff.
Officers have expressed their pleasure in seeing that lighting is improved in some of these apartment communities, as well as they're having not to go to repeat calls time in and time out with the same individuals because of those problems.
Potential residents must also agree to sign a crime-free multi-housing lease addendum.
Every resident who comes to sign with us has to sign this, and it lists things that we will evict you for criminal behavior. I have had potential residents come in, and it sits on each of our desks in the office.
MTSU also plays a vital role in the crime-free multi-housing program, since a lot of students live off campus. So during the new student orientation program known as Customs, students and parents learn about the program.
If they see that the property that their child is going to move into is a member or a participating member of the program, that management takes an active role in reducing crime into that community, and they work directly with the police department, and we provide them direct information to help them reduce those possibilities of future crime.
The hope is all participating apartment complexes will become certified.
I think parents in particular are very concerned about where their children are going to live when they drop them off at college, especially if they're going to be off campus. And it is very important that we're very transparent with the parents about what we do to help provide the safety for their children. And this is a prime example.
The City of Murfreesboro and MTSU celebrate the renovation of Middle Tennessee Boulevard, an $18 million project that turned the stretch of road by MTSU into a gateway for the campus.
For those of us who have been involved in this project for a decade plus, this has been a day that we have long waited for, and quite frankly, at times we weren't 100% sure that this was even going to happen in our lifetime. But thanks to the commitment and determination of our local, state, and federal elected officials, as well as our community, we now have a beautiful front door for our campus and for the Murfreesboro historic downtown area.
As Dr. McPhee pointed out, it hasn't been without challenges, but after waiting patiently, we now have better traffic flow, a new pull-in area in front of Murphy Center, better safety with signalized crossings. We continually are working on making sure that Murfreesboro is pedestrian friendly, and I think this is one of the things that we're most proud of. And most importantly, I think when you ask Dr. McPhee, fantastic new signage to the university. I think that's something that is beneficial. The landscape median has been a work in progress. We're still working on that, but between the fall, we'll have it looking a lot better. Finally, we shouldn't neglect to remind ourselves that projects like this take money and partnership. We've had more than $18 million in road improvements in what you see here. $12 million from the federal government. Senator Alexander, thank you so much for your work, and Congressman Gordon. We've had $5 million invested from MTSU, and we've had lots of state partnership. To our state partners, we say thank you. All of that, I go to tell you that the partnerships that we have between elected officials, MTSU, our state, and our federal government could never be stronger.
Shane, congratulations to you, because I know that MTSU and Murfreesboro are just all tied up together. One success is the other success, and this has becoming one of the most rapidly growing cities in the country, and this university is doing the same. Philip White is a professor of landscape and architecture at the University of Washington State, and this is what he has to say. His research shows that most students choose college not based upon education, but based on the campus appearance. He said most students who are visiting a college, choosing a college, will decide in the first 10 minutes whether it's going to stay on their college list, mostly based on the appearance. About 62% of college students, according to admissions officers, base their decision on the appearance of the landscape and the building. Students and their parents pay attention to how things look.
When you do a project like this, it's really, as we were talking about with JB yesterday, it's something you do every 40 or 50 years. And so you really have an option. You can halfway do it and sort of live with it, or you can create a partnership and do it right. And I think what this boulevard is going to do is it's going to set a benchmark for additional type of public-private partnerships. And I know Steve is going to be on top of that. And you're going to see a little university village, I think, here in a few years, and it's really going to be a great place for everyone.
During the past few years of construction, Liz and I have enjoyed sitting in the sunroom of the president's residence, listening to the banging, the noise, the dust, and watching this remarkable transformation take place. And once what was somewhat of a dark and uninspired stretch of highway, one that could have been found almost anywhere in the country, is now a beautiful thoroughfare. One, I might add, that's equal to any university in the community. The new gateway to this great institution.
3, 2, 1, cut!
The City of Murfreesboro's water treatment plant, where the city's drinking water comes from, recently made upgrades to the system that draws in water from the Stones River before being treated.
Okay, we're at the Stones River Water Treatment Plant, raw water intake building number 1 and number 2. Raw water building intake number 1 was built in the 1940s. The second intake was built in 1979 to help expand the capacity of the water treatment plant, as this became the only water treatment plant for the city. In the 2 intake buildings, we've just completed some work. Intake building number 2 was completed back in about April of this year. The building was repainted. We also replaced the traveling bar screen. This is our Envirotech traveling screen, and it's used to remove the trash, sticks, leaves, some silt and stuff will be removed from it, and that prevents it from going into the wet well where the pumps are located. These are raw water pumps 4 through 6. Each one can pump approximately 6 million gallons per day. 2 of these are about 2 years old. Number 4 and 5 are 2 years old, and number 6 is probably about 16 years old. Then in intake building number 1, which was just completed last week, it was rehabilitated on the top and bottom. Okay, back in the 1940s when this was originally built, the pumps number 1 sat here and pumped water from here to the Broad Street plant. It started flooding over the years, so they built the upper area and moved the pumps up to that location. Okay, this is pump station number 1 with pumps 1 through 3. As you hear, we do have 2 of the pumps that are running, so this is about as loud as it gets in here. All 3 of these pumps were just recently replaced and went into service a couple of weeks ago. These pumps are from the same manufacturer that we had in here previously. Those pumps had lasted a little over 35 years. Yeah, our raw water pumps, we have 6 at this location, 3 in each building. We rotate those pumps to give them kind of an equal wear and tear. Typically, you'll see a pump get about 15 to 20 years is what's expected. So anything above the 20-year mark is definitely icing on the cake. Yes, at the intake here, this is the East Fork of the Stones River. And at this location, it's basically held back by the Walter Hill Dam. Okay, so as the level rises and lowers at the dam, it's obviously going to rise and lower here at the intakes. So as long as we're not having a bad drought, then we have sufficient water above the dam here to provide about 60 to 70% of the water for treatment. This year's been great. Yeah, we've had plenty of rain. We also have an intake about 8 miles from here. That's our auxiliary intake. That was built in 1999 as a reason for droughts that we had experienced previously above the Walter Hill Dam, and so we needed more water. That location can provide us about 18 million gallons a day if we needed it. Typically we only pull about 40% of our capacity from that location. At the raw water intake, water is pumped from here to the treatment plant. The only thing that is added at this location is sodium permanganate, which is used to remove some taste and odor, as well as manganese and iron.
Our city is filled with many talented artists, and every other month you can check out their work displayed at local businesses all around downtown. Every other month from February to December, downtown Murfreesboro transforms into one big art show. All around the downtown area, local businesses open their doors and their wall space to local artists sharing their work with the community all for free.
We have a lot of local artists that hang their art here and they sell it, and so every month it's always a pleasure to have different artists, and I've got to know a lot of them personally, and it's a lot of fun.
Artist Zarina Donnelly moved to Tennessee a year and a half ago and says for her, art is more than something to look at. It's helped her through some of the hardest times in her life.
I'm a firm believer that drawing can save your life, and it definitely got me through like a lot of low places and low feelings.
At each stop on the art crawl, you'll see and hear something different. Live music filled the air as crowds gather to relax and enjoy a night out. It's also a great way to explore the local businesses on and near the square.
This gives people an opportunity to come out and meet new people, see the awesome art that's here in this town, revitalize the downtown, and just come out and have a good time.
The Borough Art Crawl was founded in 2015 and keeps getting bigger and better. For more information about upcoming dates in October and December, or to find out how to showcase your art, visit boroughArtCrawl.com. Reporting for CityTV, Michael Linn White. On Friday, August 23rd at 8 a.m., Amazon surprised students at Hobgood Elementary School with $15,000 to support STEM education and launch the new school year. The donation was announced by Amazon Murfreesboro General Manager Justin Larson, Hobgood Elementary School Principal Quanina Bell, and Amazon associates at a special assembly attended by 700 students. The donation was a surprise to all students in attendance. Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department employee Tim Rowlett is named the newest STARS Award recipient. Rowlett was honored at a Murfreesboro City Council meeting. Rowlett, who was off duty, responded to a fire with his personal vehicle to assist with firefighting and the transport of an injured county firefighter. Rowlett has served the city and the Fire Rescue Department since November 1995. He was first hired as a firefighter before being promoted to driver engineer in December 2006. Canines for Christ chaplain Roy Leonard brought his therapy dog Molly to visit dispatchers at the Murfreesboro Communications 911 Center. It's been a difficult time for the Murfreesboro police family with the loss of Officer Derek Kadir. Molly has been on 4,000 visits serving law enforcement, first responders, 911 dispatchers, and others who have experienced trauma or a crisis. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the city of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see one of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.